So you would call yourself an animal lover, would you?
I certainly would.
Yep. What animals do you love specifically, or is it all animals?
It's all animals, isn't it? Because they're all needed in nature.
So it's not just dogs or cats for you, it's, the
Everything.
rabbits,
The
the
rabbits, the
birds.
cows, the chickens. Chickens, lah.
Chickens.
Chickens.
So what do you feel is an unloving thing to do to an animal? If you could think
Put
of
it with a human.
put them with a human.
Take them out of nature.
Take them out in nature, okay.
Force them out of their lovely little land and grow crap on it. Like cocoa and coffee and heroin, all the above. Keep stealing their land and then moan when they come on ours.
Can you think of another thing that we do that is quite unloving to an animal?
The way I'm a meat eater, I'm not going to lie, but why do we treat them that badly in their little life that they have?
Yeah, that's the question we're asking people actually, because people would call themselves animal lovers, and I think we say in Britain we're a nation of animal lovers.
Yes.
However, we do such unloving things, and you talked about meat there,
And cruelty to animals, and it's easy to disregard any other living being, but what people need to do is get back in touch with nature and understand that they're all needed.
Yeah.
From the little ants to the big elephants.
So what do you think about animals who are bred like cows, chickens, pigs, and then they're killed for meat, dairy, eggs?
Well, I kind of understand that we need to eat. I kind of understand that we're a superior race in our mind or whatever, but you could treat them with dignity.
Yeah, and what would you say treating them with dignity would look like?
Free range, proper, like it used to be, where they roam about and get to a certain age, and then unfortunately they do die, but the life
killed.
they had,
Can I share with you something? I've actually been to 3 range farms around here.
Yeah.
And you see them there, like a pig farm, for example. They, how they look around here. They look free. They're open. Well, when you go closer, you see dead bodies. You see them that they're put in bins.
Just look at Bernard Matthews, for instance.
Yeah.
How they treat the turkeys, just to.
Yeah, and I think it begs.
This is the time to think of it.
Yeah, I think it begs the question that if you're going to kill them, maybe their best interests aren't actually being considered at all through the entire process.
Yeah, but I've had people who don't want to live anymore, and they're not allowed to die. It's against the law. It's illegal. They're going to hell. All this different stuff that we feed to people, just to make them scared and control them. I don't think that's much different to how we treat the animals. To be fair.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're killing them. We bring them into existence, and then we kill them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally agreeing with that. Like people will eat a lamb, but they won't slow cooked mutton that was going to die anyway, and people moan about leather and stuff, but we're putting all this plastic in the world.
But they won't eat a dog.
In certain cultures.
Yeah, in certain cultures. But certain cultures we look at and we think that's disgusting, they eat these animals. Yeah, but we're no different. No, it's no different at all.
Listen, the only reason I ain't eating human flesh yet is because it's not legal. If it was legal, I would have been eating a human yesterday.
So you would kill a human and eat them?
Yeah, okay. I would. Yeah, I would. If I'm on a desert island, and it's between me and my best buddy, sorry, mate, you're losing a leg.
Well, obviously that's a survival situation, but we're just talking about generally.
Because I'm fucking hungry. It's got nothing to do with
survival.
So
that's what people are doing now. They get hungry, they put their hand somewhere in the supermarket, they decide not to get the vegan chicken, they get the animal chicken instead. They are just hungry in the moment, and they're making a choice. We're saying that's
okay. Well, I dated a vegan for 9 months. I tried it myself. Right,
yeah.
Make her happy. Because men are stupid creatures that do that shit. But your meat doesn't taste like meat. It tastes like cardboard.
Which one?
The corn,
corn's vegetarian.
The chicken, everything. Oh, vegetarian, vegan, don't be so pedantic. It's all the same.
No, unfortunately, because the dairy and egg industries, for example.
Sit down. Sorry, I'm old.
That's fine. The dairy and egg industry, for example, they're vegetarian, but they're not vegan, because do you know what happens in those industries?
I'm sure you're going to inform me.
If you'd like to know.
Go for it. I like grizzly shit.
Yeah, so with the dairy industry, for example, the cows are artificially... artificial insemination, yeah, you could consider it such, because they aren't consenting to having someone's arm up their anus and then being...
That's just the way the universe works.
So I was going to wonder, firstly, why you identify it as an animal lover?
I feel like it's silly not to, in a way. We got to respect the creatures on the planet, man. But also I have pets, veggie, stuff like that. I think it's really important animals. I love like animal documentaries and stuff like that. I mean, deforestation and all that eco stuff, I mean, it's all linked to like the animal world. I mean, they're part of our ecosystem. Like our world literally wouldn't be here without them. So I feel like I know I find it weird to say I identify as an animal lover in a way, because it seems like everyone should, you know.
We call ourselves a nation of animal lovers,
Yeah.
don't we? And I think every nation calls themselves animal lovers and prides themselves on how they treat animals. What would you say is an unloving thing to do to an animal?
Well, I mean, you could go obvious, like abuse an animal or not take care of an animal properly. I mean, there's a lot of factors, aren't there? There's a lot of like sort of not very black and white conversations. Like, I think a lot about like sort of pet breeding and stuff like that, when
Yes.
people get these sort of designer breeds, which I think is really lovely in a way. But also, on the other hand, it's just sort of making an animal into like a sort of object to buy rather than like an actual thing with a life and thoughts and stuff like that.
Like commodification
Yeah,
instead of actually
yeah.
a sentient being.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm liking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you think of a specific thing that, other than that screams out to you that we do on a regular basis that would be unloving to an animal?
I mean, I for some reason, what pops into my mind is the London Sea Life Centre. They have this penguin enclosure, and you just see the penguins. They're just like swimming around in a circle all day long. I don't know if it's still there, but it was when I was a kid. They're just swimming in a circle all day long, and I just think like people go into that Sea Life Centre every day and don't really even think about it. And I'm not saying that like zoos are inherently bad or anything like that, but like sometimes it's just really bad. We just walk past, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the big question is, what do you think personally about industries that commodify animals, such as the meat, dairy and egg industries, or industries for fur, leather? Like, what's your opinion on them?
I mean, again, it's like quite a complicated question because obviously farmers like, you know, have that whole thing going on. And I feel like it would be weird for me to say like, stop all animal industry, stop all animal products from being made, because obviously there's like a lot of cultural nuances to that as well. Like I have a friend who's from Ukraine, and like her family keep chickens and just them when they want some chicken, you know, stuff like that. And that's kind of quite a lot different to like a big industry. But obviously because of capitalism, a lot of this stuff is done for profit. It's not really thinking about the lives of animals or humans in a lot of cases.
No.
Yeah. So
Why we think plants and animals are not so different to us. We're all part of the planet. We all need to coexist, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'd say if you care about that, what's something that's really interesting to know is we grow these crops and we deforest this land for the animals in a
Yeah,
large
but then we-
portion.
And no, for instance, pistachios, people don't understand the air miles and the fuel that's used to get them. That's
But
my
it's-
kind of argument.
It is mind-blowing when you compare it to meat, especially dairy as well. So let's take something like the egg industry, for example. Do you know what happens in the egg industry?
yeah, so I was vegan for many years. I'm not anymore. I'm actually a vegetarian now. But that's only because I've got health conditions and like stuff like that. But yeah, horrible stuff happens in the egg industry. I mean, I've seen the videos of them all being like crammed into one sort of big shed, and like their legs go all weird because they can't, like they're all so packed in. And it's interesting actually, a lot of things will say free range, but actually they just mean they went outside for 5 minutes today.
Yeah.
It's not the same as like, yeah, as being like just free chickens to do whatever they want. But yeah.
Yeah, I've been inside these farms. It just means we can add more chickens into the pen, and they never see sunlight until they're sent off to be slaughtered. And obviously, you know, the males don't lay eggs, so they are ground up in a macerator on day one of their life.
It's just horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And like, you know, again, it's just a symptom of capitalism, isn't it? Like, it's just to make as much profit as possible. Like, cram those chickens in, you know? Yeah.
I guess as well, it's the sort of thing of commodification. Say if we lived in like a utopia where we could like dismantle capitalism, still there I could imagine animal industries existing in a different form if we still commodified them, if we saw them as had commodification status.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you say to that? Do you think it would be better to leave them to be free, or would you still think we should use them in some capacity?
See, again, that's like quite a complicated question, but I mean, I guess if it were up to me, if I was like president of the world, I'd say just leave them be, you know, like let the animals be the animals, you know. I mean, they haven't always been like, some cultures don't eat any animals, you
Yes.
know, and some do. But, you know, the main problem, I guess, is the whole industry of it, and I just get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it's an interesting one because culture you talk about is very important. It binds us, it brings
Yeah.
us together. Would you say culture is ever a justification for commodification and exploitation, anything like that? Or would you put culture before that?
I mean, again, it depends. I mean, like, for me personally, I don't have much culture because I'm like, you know, a white British person. But, you know, if someone was like, you know, in a native population and was eating like narwhal or something, I don't feel like I have any right to tell them to stop doing that. But yeah, to be honest, I don't really know. It's quite a big question, but I'd say it just depends on sort of the circumstance, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's more in a kind of logical consistency kind of sense. I think for our culture, a big thing would be fox hunting. That is not really a massive thing, but it's more with the bourgeois.
Yes.
You know, they see it as a cultural significance to, you know, hunt down these animals, you know, abuse the horses, abuse the dogs, and obviously abuse and kill the foxes. So I would just say by proxy, like by default, culture, it's a slippery slope to put it above the life of a sentient being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree that animals are sentient?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Like even things that people don't think about. A lot of people eat like crab. Crabs are so clever. They know so much. And
Yes.
like I think a lot of people underestimate animals to sort of create that sort of comfortability, you know, like, oh, it's fine because it's just a little like crab or it's just a little prawn. But no, they are sentient. Obviously, they're living beings.
Yeah, it's the superiority complex that we have. You know, it's human supremacy, thinking that because we can talk other languages, all these languages, and we can walk on 2 feet and we can build buildings, that suddenly we're better than them.
Yeah.
And even if we were better than them, it's really weird to think then we can put them in, you know, cages and then take from them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just like the animals themselves, it's the land that you're disrupting, you know, when you put a massive no, you're right. If you put a massive net in the ocean, that's not just disrupting the wildlife, that's disrupting like the whole ecosystem, you know. So yeah, that's really good point.
Yeah, would you ever consider veganism again?
Possibly. I have a lot of dietary requirements as it is, so it's just like sort of managing all that. Probably need like some professional help with that. But like I'm definitely open to it. I eat a lot of vegan food.
Yes, and it's amazing and getting better every day.
Well, there's still some things that I just won't have I still drink soy milk exclusively because I hate the taste of real milk. And like there's a few things like that. Vegan mayo is better than real mayo.
Yeah.
Like I think people need to realise that sleeping on vegan mayo is
You're
so much
sleeping on
nicer.
vegan mayo. Yeah, and yeah, as well as that, because obviously veganism isn't just dietary.
Yeah.
Are you somebody who doesn't buy animal tested ingredients and you know, not buy the bodies of animals in other forms?
No, I don't buy any other. I don't use animal tested products, actually. That's one thing that's really stuck with me. There are like some other issues, like there's parent companies and things like that.
Yeah,
which,
like Unilever.
Yeah, sometimes that confuses me a bit because sometimes in the packaging it'll be like cruelty free and it's like you're owned by L'Oreal. Like, what are you doing?
Every other product is tested on animals.
Yeah, exactly. But I've sort of like tuned into that, so it'd be really weird for me to just go and buy something that wasn't at this point because that's just sort of a habit now.
Yeah, obviously I don't know your dietary requirements or anything like that, and I don't want to, but I like to let people know that, and you probably are quite educated on this yourself, that it is suitable and it's becoming more accessible and easier to become, you know, to be vegan.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's just trying to compel people to actually think of animals like as individuals rather than commodification statuses. It's funny, we grow up and we want animals to look after them and be nice to them, and then suddenly we're, you know.
Well, look at COVID, for instance. Look how many people got animals then because they were stuck at home. As soon as they had to go back to work, man, they neglected them.
Yeah. Basically, what to take from this is, you know, our whole view of other animals
Our
needs
whole
to
view
change.
of everything, of race, religion, gender, sexuality, all needs to change.
All needs to change.